Welcome everybody, and how you doing, Ketsup?
Hey, Tormental.
You didn't answer how you're doing.
I don't know. I'm sad and depressed and thinking of doing bad things to my
On
body.
to gaming news. Recently, it was announced that Laura will be joining the cast of Street Fighter V. Have you heard about this?
Croft? Laura Croft?
Yes, Laura Croft is joining Street Fighter. I guess it's
Oh,
like
oh.
when they have like the DLC characters in Mortal Kombat, like
Yeah,
Predator
yeah,
and all
that's
that.
cool.
So I guess Laura Croft is joining Street Fighter V, and that's going to be interesting.
Awesome. Is she still gonna have like emotional damage like in the first game?
I would assume so.
Oh, I
Emotional
would love
damage. I think she's in a wheelchair, but I'm not sure
that
too
would be a
as
part
well.
of her meter. Once it gets to full, like her ultra could be she's crying.
Yeah, there
So
you
the match
go.
ends, it's like, oh,
Perfect.
let's leave her alone. She's crippled and has a. Well, you know what? You don't ever see. You don't see many other than Laura Croft, which is cool with
Hmm.
Capcom, having their first crippled person on a fighting game, which
Yeah,
is
I think
awesome.
they're doing that for diversity. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
I don't know if it's canon in the Tomb Raider franchise. I haven't really played it that much, so.
I mean, all we need is our first transgender fighter, and I think we do. There's
Oh
what's
yeah, that's
yeah, we do
Cammy.
actually.
That's Cammy.
Cammy,
Yeah.
yeah, because she used to be a man. You could tell by
Well,
her
I
muscles,
think
but.
she's a clone of E Honda.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. I
Right,
can see
right.
it.
And so some of that DNA stayed the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But you know,
they're all the right places. All
yep.
the right places. Ugh. I
Hundred
still
hand
get
slap. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, I still get very sexually confused looking at her, but
Looking at her butt. Yeah,
she's officially a woman, so I don't have to tell my parents anything.
that's true.
So
That's
yeah.
true. Not that it would be their business anyway, but
Well, you know what? It's how it goes. My parents are a big part of my sexual life.
I bet they
They're
are.
always they're always asking questions, wanting footage and all that. And so
Mm,
a lot
mm,
of girlfriends get put off when the camera I have to explain about my parents and all
right.
that.
Especially when they're like waving from the two-way Skype link.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? I'm very close with my family,
I bet.
and
I bet.
so
I've heard that about you.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, did you hear about the Fallout? Their
Fallout.
their new perks? Yeah, the Fallout 4.
Really? They have new perks.
They
Really?
have new perks, and one of them was pretty cool. Is their intelligence system, where
Really?
you're like you could do like whole science stuff. Well, if apparently they're getting huge flack, if you revert back, you can actually be, and going back to diversity, mentally challenged. You can have your first mentally, not challenged character. So
That
that's cool. That's
is
cool.
progressive, and I like that.
I like
I
that
like that a
too.
lot.
We're in a very progressive society now, and I'm so happy with all this stuff that's happening. That just it's great. That's awesome about Fallout.
Now, is this part of that system? And I heard, I guess this is related to the intelligence system. I just heard that they had some kind of real time education system in the game.
Yeah, yeah. If you really like, there's like hours and hours of like stuff on Wikipedia. Just in Fallout, you can just learn about like languages.
Hmm.
It's pretty much an educational game now. But it's great. It's great. You
Right.
could blow people's heads up, and learn about like science and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because you don't want to have too much of one thing and not enough of another. So,
Right.
it's good
And
to
e-
be balanced and offer, alternatives.
and everyone keeps on saying like games are like they dumb you down and they're not like art. But you
Right.
got Fallout, which they teach you how to be, a better person and learn about people with mental disabilities, which is just
Exactly.
awesome.
Now, is it going to be a case where you take negative stat attributes for being mentally disabled, or will it be like a balance where you're really good at some things but not others, like sort of a Rain Man type character, or
It could be. I mean, I believe the more mentally challenged you are, you have the strength of like three gorillas.
I'm actually surprised they would add that in. That seems like kind of a hot button topic. I don't know.
It is. I don't. I guess because I mean, they're all for helping people, so I'm sure like they're getting away with being edgy.
Jeez.
But I mean, I love Fallout, so it's one of my favorites.
Well, I mean, I also along the same lines. I mean, Fallout, a very popular game, and I heard that. I don't know if you play Halo at all. I'm sure you've probably played at least the original games, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Halo 5, they actually announced details about their Forge mode improvements. So,
Oh,
like, when, you're going to be able to forge deeds, wills, things like that. I guess, I don't know, for other players? I don't know. Like, if
so
somebody
you mean like
dies in the game.
Oh, so you get like the wheel to their family and
Right, right.
stuff.
You get all their equipment, you get things like that. I guess I don't know. Halo 5 apparently has a home system where you can
Okay,
actually
cool.
get, lease a house or buy a house, get a car, things like that. So apparently you'll be able to forge the documents to those things, and I can't see that being too much of a positive because I think you're going to end up with a lot of griefing. But I assume that Bungie knows what they're doing. So
I heard about that too. And if a soldier dies, you have to go to their family's house and give them like the letter of, he was a good soldier, and you give him the
right.
medal.
You know what? I would actually not mind if the forge system applied to that, because you could
That,
give them like a letter that's like, your son was brave, and in the face of adversity, he bravely ran the other way and took 50 shots in the back, after which he crapped himself.
right, right, yeah.
I
He
mean, it just would be
teabags.
it would be an interesting way to like troll people, because that's the way I
Yeah,
go.
and have like a teabag meter, like points, how many people you've teabagged. That's awesome. I love
That
that.
You know what? They should actually add that.
I think so too. I mean, it would go with their system.
Hmm.
So
I could see achievements being unlocked.
oh, right, right, right. Most teabagged, just great stuff. I
There
mean,
could be
that should be
something like, if you teabag someone on a winter map, it could be called the Ice Tea achievement.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So yeah,
really like that. Yeah,
I think that's good.
yeah.
I've never been much of a Halo Fallout. I've never really been too much into the big AAA games. But I could
I
see
mean, I,
I could see why they'd be enjoyed.
I love it. I mean, again, going back to Fallout, they have it's literally called their special system, and
Hmm.
that's just awesome. It's good. I mean,
Right,
it's a double entendre. I mean, special stands for something else, but it obviously means,
right,
yeah.
right. Well,
So,
I think that's pretty good. I think that the more options you have, the better. So
right, right. Again, going back to diversity, that's just great. I mean, just I'm happy that that's all happening. So,
definitely.
real good. Let's see what else is in gaming news. Oh, Metal Gear. Metal Gear. Did you hear about this?
I've heard about Metal Gear in general. Yes.
Yeah, apparently no, it's just going back with like Konami, like Metal Gear like officially has Kojima has one of the, I guess, higher ups. If you look for it, it's an Easter egg of Konami, and there is literally like a group of soldiers like having their way with some of the higher ups there. You have to find an Easter
Oh,
egg.
really?
Yeah,
Really?
it's getting its hot flag. They're just railing on them like
Like the
really
hot
going.
coffee mod is what you're.
Yeah, just like
Interesting.
fist deep in there, and
Wow.
they're loving it. They're like, "Oh, me Reiki," like all that stuff. It's kind of offensive. I don't know why
Huh.
Kojima would have made kind of racist Asian stereotype, but yeah, they're like, "Me Reiki that, me Reiki."
Wow. Wow. That sounds. Yeah. I mean, I've heard of a lot of interesting Easter eggs over the years. Where like the hot coffee mod itself, which I mentioned.
Right.
A lot of things that weren't meant to be found or weren't meant to be done. That I don't know if people have lost their jobs over them before, but it sounds like it might happen now.
I think that was Kojima's like final middle finger to Konami.
Yeah. Yeah.
They released a press statement saying they do not Reiki in the butt. So
Really?
yeah, they officially as a company said they do not Reiki in their butt. So that's good,
Huh.
I guess. I don't. Well, I mean, they're missing out. They've never tried it.
I
So
kind of wonder if, some people maybe signed on to that semi unwillingly, just to give like a united front, I guess, from all of the people involved. Because, I mean, there has to be some of them that do.
well, I mean, as a company, that's just bad PR because they're already kind of like railing gamers and
Right.
talking about how, like they want to continue, but not really. And now they're really like alienating themselves from people who like butt play, which is, I think, as a company, really just not a good idea to
Right,
do.
right. Well, I don't know. Maybe I think Fallout maybe can pick up, some of the slack there because I believe they actually have their butt play system being engaged in that game. But
I hear there's
you could
mods
correct me
already.
if I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, there's mods happen like that, and they're embracing the mods Fallout. They're like,
Right.
yeah, we're all for the community, and I think they're even going to be in like console games. They're saying we want you to be able to mod it in consoles.
Mm,
So I mean, look forward to just, I mean, whatever you're into, like just butts and all in the new Fallout, which is just I can't wait.
right.
I can't wait. So yeah,
Well,
really.
and I know that this is actually something close to your heart. I know that you are a huge fan of the Conker games. Conker's
Oh, I
Bad Fur Day.
love Conker.
Yeah,
I
etc.
I base my life off of Conker. I drink a lot. I just everything about Conker. That's my life.
Right, right.
I like furries.
Squirrels
Really into that.
especially.
They love nuts.
Yep.
So that's a given. That's
I
a
know
given.
that's always what you're saying to me. I mean, like, I know that you probably don't even realize that you say this so often, but you're always like, I'm like a squirrel going after so many nuts.
Well,
But yeah,
can't help it. Can't help it.
right,
It's
right.
what my mother taught me.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've. I kind of hate to say it now because I don't know if you've heard about this or not, but Rare actually canceled their new Conker game.
Oh no! What happened?
It was called Conker Getting Medieval, and they actually showed some concept art recently. I guess since it's canceled, there's nothing to lose now. But they,
Right.
I mean, they had some interesting stuff in there, and you could see basically. I mean, Conker is known for its subversive humor and different things like that, and I think does
Right.
it
Right.
best probably out of any game franchise. And I know you'd agree, but apparently they had like an Anita Sarkeesian character that was kind of funny, but
Ooh, yeah, that would have been interesting.
yeah, I mean, oh, man, and they actually had her as like some sort of lizard creature,
Right,
but
right, right.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's a reptile, but
Okay.
it just has a note next to it, cold-blooded. But and
Okay.
they had Zoe Quinn in there too, which is weird. I mean,
I
I didn't
have
even.
no idea who she is, but
Yeah,
okay.
that's the thing. I wouldn't think they would know either.
Okay.
Very strange. Brianna Wu, etc. All as animal characters, in the next Conquer game, and I don't know. That could have been why it got shut down and canceled. I don't know.
Oh well, these all sound like names I've never heard of or cared about.
Well, okay. Anita Sarkeesian is basically a huge gun advocate. I mean, she's like, the card carrying NRA type character, and she has a whole web series about video games and how they don't, teach proper gun use and how the gun physics are unrealistic. There's no recoil, different things like that.
Well, now that's just shenanigans. We all
Yeah.
know that all video games teach you proper game or just
know,
how to handle guns.
She's just a lunatic. Zoe Quinn actually is really a huge game developer. I mean, like working on
Okay.
AAA titles.
Okay,
I think she was involved with Bayonetta. I'm not sure.
Oh wow, that's one of my favorite games.
Yeah, I think I saw a quote somewhere. It said something like, "Oh, geez, what was the quote?" Zoe Quinn is to jiggle boob physics what Einstein was to the atom bomb. I think.
Oh wow. I mean, because Zoe. I mean, not the Bayonetta. I mean, that's just for me. That's one of those games that really empower like women in general. That's why I
Right.
love it so much.
Right. And
So.
Brianna Wu is basically a critic online who writes articles and different things like that about games and how basically like an elitist kind of like cell phone games are for idiots and filthy casuals ruining everything and
Well,
get
I
good, or
I
get the
agree
fuck
with
out.
all of that. So I guess I would probably get along with her.
So you would say you're a huge Brianna Wu fan?
Um, I don't know who she is.
Well, I mean just
But-
based on the
Well,
general.
I would have to see her face. I base a lot of my judgments on appearance.
Well, that's a bit sexist, my friend. But yeah,
It's not sexist. It's just a general term. Just
Right,
with
right.
anybody. Like I disown my dad. I mean, he has such a just look at his face alone is like ugh,
Oh yeah,
ugh.
I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's anything like you.
Oh! Shots fired.
Gotcha, little zinger there.
You.
Huh?
If you weren't such a good kisser, I would be mad at you.
Well, that's why I can get away with what I can get away with. So.
Ah. You.
But yeah, I mean, if you can't have Conker, you can have the next best thing. So.
Ah, it's a shame because again, I really, really love Conker. It's one of my. Oh, and one thing I've been playing, and it just came out, and they announced it with Albino Lullaby,
Really?
which is really well, you've heard of it. It's a very interesting kind of horror game where there's no real jump scares, but all the atmosphere is very interesting. And if you've seen any of it, the monsters look they're called worms, but they look kind of like penis monsters.
Huh, I bet.
And they officially announced, yep, they're pretty much penis monsters.
Wow.
The
Yeah,
developer.
See, the thing is, the minute you said that it was a good game, that it was a really great horror game, I was like waiting. Okay, where are the penises?
You know, I caught it like again. Konami has or Kojima always has like a lot of butts in their games, and I'm
Right.
like, that's why I'm like, why am I strangely attracted to all these, Metal Gear games? Like, oh yeah, because there's butts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the developer for Albino Lullaby officially made a statement saying, yeah, he's apparently very afraid of penises in general. Like I have a weird fear of it myself. Like just they all look weird. Horse ones, all of them just.
Right, right.
So the game is particularly scary for me, but I cannot stop playing the
I
game. I
I
love
remember
it.
you telling me about that story about when you were a kid with that neighborhood stray and how you
Oh,
couldn't look at lipstick for like years after that.
yeah, pit bulls.
Yeah.
It was actually my friend's pit bull. He trained it to do things, and
Oh, I see. I
I didn't
see.
know. I didn't know.
Yeah, I
So
didn't know. I didn't realize it went that far, but yeah.
yeah. Pit bulls, they're aggressive, but when needed, sometimes they'll be loving too.
Right,
So don't.
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have a question about Albino Lullaby because I've been meaning to play that. And is the main character an albino or?
You don't see it. You don't really see the character, but it's implied because again, all the penis monsters are really white. Like
Ah, okay. I
there's
see.
no that's
I
the one
gotcha.
gripe I have with the game. There's no black penis monsters. It's just all. I think
God damn it!
yeah. I know. I think they're just intimidated because they'd be obviously way bigger,
Wow.
but a little
You
flop
know,
too, slightly, but yeah.
I think you know what I'm. Fuck, I'm doing it right now. I'm bringing up change.org, and we're gonna change that.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna send you the link, and you'll sign it, right?
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the game probably, no offense, probably would have been way scarier because if you've ever seen like a black penis monster,
Oh, of course, of course.
it's both lovely and scary.
Right,
It
right.
is. So
It's like petting an African lion. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime experience that you will treasure forever, and
you'll
yet you always
always
have that
remember
little
it.
bit of fear.
Yeah, you'll always remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what's one of those things.
All right. Well,
So
I don't know, but I don't know if you've ever been a Mega Man fan, but I know that Mighty Number Nine has a new release date.
ooh,
Yep, and they have a demo out.
cool.
Finally. I mean, it's been a long wait.
Right, it's
But
been what, like 10 years, 20 years?
yeah, well, actually, it's been right in the middle, 15 years. So
15
not a
years.
bad guess. Not a bad
Right
guess.
next to Kingdom Hearts. Right next to Kingdom Hearts.
Right,
Good.
and I remember they had that Indiegogo campaign, and
Right.
they
That
had all the
the
chargebacks, and I don't know.
Yeah, it was like an instant success. Like
Yeah,
there was good PR all around it from what I heard.
right, right. And I liked the idea of taking Mega Man and taking what people really liked about the Mega Man franchise and, removing all the crap with the robot bosses, removing all the crap with the interchangeable weapons, and just focusing on the relationship between an elderly scientist and his boy creation. I mean, that's what always was lacking for me in the old school NES days. Because you'd get it because of the box art, you'd get it because of what was in the game, the pictures, the description. You'd sit down, and then it was just all about fighting.
Yeah, there's too much violence in games, especially 8-bit
Ugh,
games. I've always said it. And I knew Mega Man, that was the root, because I love Mega Man's one of my favorite of the
right,
series. That's what got me into gaming.
right.
And I always thought, like, there could be so much more with this. This character has so much potential. And,
Right.
like, I'm still sad that they haven't made Mega Man into a girl yet, like, because everyone knows that that's what they want. Mega Man has to be a girl. Like, he's obviously designed as a woman.
You just blew my mind.
Everyone's been
Wow.
talking about it and they've been wanting it for the longest. They're like Mega Man, especially the Mighty Number Nine. That's what they were aiming for, but they didn't do it.
Wow.
But
So they
yeah,
backed away. They backed
they
away from it.
backed away, which is a
Wow.
shame. It's a shame.
That's
But
I think that's going to color my whole experience with this game now.
yeah. I
Because
mean,
I'm
it
just
might
going to
make.
be picturing what if there was a vagina beneath those metal pants.
I know, even though again he's a robot, so really gender shouldn't matter. To be honest, I mean, but
Well, I mean, I to a certain extent understand that, but then I have to take a step back and say that, gender only doesn't matter to us because we're cis white males.
well, that and I mean, as gamers, gender really just doesn't matter. We don't
Right.
care. But yeah.
Right.
But yeah, and I mean, who's to say I'm white? I mean, I have a very rich history with various cultures. I'm not really white. You can
Well, I
say.
mean, the fact that you speak with authority and sometimes talk over other people, I mean
I mean,
that makes you honorary.
excuse me.
See, right there, right
I'm
there.
sorry. Well, I wasn't done yet. I
That
mean,
makes
I'm
you an
just-
honorary white person.
Well, you know what?
So frickin' rude.
Yeah, I wasn't being rude. I was just trying to,
Well,
correct.
I think that you need to take some time out and possibly, I'm gonna send you some links to maybe to some videos, some blogs you need to read and watch.
Okay. Okay. You know
Uh,
what? Maybe you're right.
Because
So
it
who was?
seems like your education is slipping. Because I know
Okay.
we went through the whole thing of educating you on the
Right. Right.
sensitivities and everything.
So you were saying I should like watch this Cartesian girl, what?
Oh yeah, Amanda Sarkeesian.
I forget her name.
Amanda Sarkeesian, you were right.
Was I right? Was I
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay. Because I've never heard of this person, so I
yeah.
don't
She
know.
started out on that Keeping Up with the Sarkeesians show. So.
Oh, that's her, the one with
Yeah.
the butt.
See,
Well,
see what you're
that's what
doing
they.
right now.
That is what they. That's marketing. That's marketing. Marketing
Uh.
is how it goes. It's just how it is. I can't help what marketers push. So.
Well, you have to remember that behind every marketer is a patriarchal agenda. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the main thing. You gotta recall that everything you see, you gotta remember that it's sexist, and you have to figure out why. But yeah. But
Speaking of that,
yeah,
did you hear
let's
about
get back on positive topics. So.
Yeah, I mean, going with what you were saying, Hitman. They announced a new Hitman coming out.
Really?
Along with the movie, right? Yeah, that's coming out soon.
Huh. And is this
Right.
going to have the same actors from the movie?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Huh.
And this one, the whole point of this game is you're killing nothing but women. It's a giant game against women where
I
you're
see.
killing, like you're killing hookers for just funsies, and that's all you do. You just break into houses and kill women. Like apparently, Hitman has a really he went through a breakup, and he's not handling it well, and he's really taking it on like every girl he meets.
Right.
Which
right.
I find is an interesting concept for a game, but it's a little touchy, a little. I don't know if I can fully agree with it as a gamer.
Well, the thing is, you have to remember that since the Hitman series was created by a female creator,
Yeah.
there really can't be any sexism in it. There can't be any misogyny. So, unless it could be internalized misogyny, but I mean that's
I've
heard
heard
sincerely
I've heard
about
it's
it.
like passive aggressive, where it's like she actually has like girls she's like I guess had a bit falling out with. They're in the game, and you get bonus points for shooting him or killing them or
That
Yeah.
explains it, because I saw a clip from the new Hitman game, and he was following some chick down the street. I'm sorry, he was following a female-oriented human.
Right, I was
down the
going to
street.
say that
Yeah,
was a bit,
sometimes a little bit of my grandpa slips out.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
he was a merchant marine. But the thing is, you're following this woman down the street, and I just remember the dialogue from the character going, "I hate her hair."
Oh,
So
right.
I
watched
can
that.
see that now.
Yeah, and it said "Suck it, Susie, you're a whore," and then it
Right.
gave her address, her home address, which was weird, and phone number and
Right, right.
Twitter account.
Crazy.
Yeah. I thought it was a marketing ploy, but I was like, "Oh, geez, that's okay." So it's a real girl.
And then after you kill her, you collect the shoes, and I
Right,
remember a pop-up
right.
coming up saying "not even real Prada," so I don't know.
Oh, you can't go without real Prada. I mean,
Yeah.
why wear it? You're setting yourself up
Right.
to look bad, to look bad.
That's right.
And I mean, you shouldn't need to wear Prada. I mean, we're all human beings. It's just as long as you wear pants, and,
Eh.
and or maybe
I'm a supporter of pants or shirt.
pants or shirt.
Yeah.
I might agree with pants or shirt. I if you wear pants, I guess I'm in the pants game. I do like pants, and I do like shirts. Or to go beyond that, I like things that sort of cover up the body when necessary, when you're cold and or don't want to show too much of your body.
Like a
Or-
onesie, sort of.
Right. Onesie.
Right.
You know what? Onesies. They should really pull out more onesies out there.
I
for
don't
fashion.
know. I think it's just as a culture, I think that we moved so far away from the basics of what onesies are about. We all have to be these big adults, and you got to wear a suit and tie. Just embrace it.
There's-
Deep down, everybody wants a onesie. So
They can make
just admit it.
professional onesies for business people, business women, businessmen. I mean, that little flap in the back, perfect.
Right.
It's so convenient. It's so convenient.
Definitely for a lot of stuff.
As you know, recently, I had what some might call an accident where I shit my pants. Wouldn't have happened if I had a onesies.
That's right.
So, you know what?
I think that we're covering some good ground here. I think that
Right.
I mean, you talk about unifying the human race. I mean, if we were all in onesies, there would be no need for judging someone based on their appearance, their clothes, their wealth, whatever. If you had Donald Trump and the poorest guy the homeless guy on the corner with the sign, if you stood them side by side wearing a onesie, how would you determine which one was who?
You know what? We need a game about this. That's what we need.
Definitely.
We need a
Definitely.
game
I
about
think that
this.
Zoe Quinn probably.
Right, right.
I'll have to call
Yeah,
her
I
up.
think
I have her private number. She entrusted me with it. She gets a lot of flack from people, but
it could
I'm
be the
on the
new.
good list.
Yeah, it could be the new like Grand Theft Auto mod thing. At least something. It's just
Right, right. Yeah, I know that all three of those women are huge supporters of GTA 5, but
I don't know any of these three
Right,
women. They
right.
mean nothing to me.
well,
Um, but yeah.
I mean that's how you roll. So.
Well, if somebody is like unimportant, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care about them. So it's like, yeah.
Well,
So
all right. Well, I don't know. Do you think that we've covered enough topics for today?
I think this
Yeah.
is a good episode of our.
I mean, we
our
could go on, but
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
for I guess for all thing gaming, you know where to come.
that's right.
Right on our
And,
faces.
You
I
know,
mean,
no
here,
bullshit, no spin. No ties. We have absolutely no ties with the developers. We have no ties with the companies. This is all straight shooting.
right. I mean, we do get paid from them sometimes, but that doesn't mean
Well,
anything.
Yeah, I mean, money is nothing. I'm talking about like gifts and stuff. Although I did get, well, yeah. I mean,
Well, I
there
mean,
was
they
that.
they
Yeah.
didn't give me an actual tie, so
Yeah.
I love ties. I do. I love ties.
If
I
they
have
had
like
a
a
branded onesie, that would be great.
yeah, a onesie with the there's so many things you could do with the tie. You can kind of choke yourself while like handling
Right.
some business. It's great. It's great. I just we all should be wearing ties.
So yeah, if anybody out there wants to sponsor the show, if you have onesies, we like
Or-
those. If you
or-
have,
Or ties.
if you want to give us a little something under the table that ain't necessarily legal, we could go for that too. I mean, but yeah, so that's basically, I think that's
that-
it for today.
That's our show, and for all things gaming and facts, we